morning. I'm Deb Hale here with Skip Bayless. Shannon Sharp joins us from Atlanta. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, Jen. Well, this is it.
Hey, Skip. Hi.
This is your night.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is benediction coronation night, right? This is what you've been telling me. So you know all. You are the seer of this show. So I'm just deferring to you today.
That'll be interesting.
We'll see.
I just want to make. I just want to make sure those 4 cases of dew are still in play. That's all I need to know.
Seriously? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on.
Well, let's
bring
do
it on.
Somebody's going to have a busy morning carrying dew in, whether it be tomorrow or Monday. So let's get right into Game 6. The Warriors have their backs against the wall once again tonight. It is their last home game ever at Oracle. Raptors up 3-2 and 1 win away from their first NBA title. The Warriors, though, are favored by 2.5 points. They're going to have to get it done, though, without Kevin Durant. So, Shannon, who do you think wins tonight?
I'm going to take the Warriors. I'm going to take the Raptors tonight because I don't believe they have that push, that 7-foot monster that they knew was going to be in Game 5. And he provided the spark, Skip, because he opened up the floor. He allowed Klay and Steph to get comfortable early on, and then Klay never lost his comfort level in shooting the three. Although Steph went cold a little bit in the second half, he found his niche when he found his mark when he really needed to in the fourth quarter. But I think Toronto has played great D all series long, and I believe they'll get back to that, especially not having to worry about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant also provided them something, Skip, on the defensive side. Because he's so long, getting extra rebounds, blocked Siakam's shot. Nothing came cheap early on for the Raptors, and therefore the Warriors were able to get to a lead, and they made Toronto play catch-up for the entire game. They only took the lead, the last 4 minutes of the ball game, had like a 6-point lead with about 3:05 left in the game to go. But I believe this time around, Skip, they will limit the amount of threes. You cannot let Golden State shoot 42 threes and then let them shoot a high percentage from the three-point line. More times than not, you will lose. I believe those threes will be tougher to come by tonight. They will contest more shots. They will bang the offensive glass like they've done all series long. And I believe they win a close ball game. And Kawhi Leonard would join Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron James as the only men to win the Bill Russell Finals MVP trophy in 2 different locales.
Okay, I'm going to have to tell our control room I'm having a hard time hearing Shannon. It's going in and out, so forgive me for that. But I'm going to try to guess at what you were just saying, and I'm going to try to talk to it. I'm going to go with you this far. I don't love the Warriors' chances tonight because there's no good reason they should win this game because I don't have any evidence from the previous 3 games that Toronto has played at Oracle this year. There's no evidence that Golden State should even have a chance tonight because all 3 previous games were wipeouts. And I'm going to remind you, the regular season game, albeit way back in December, was a complete wipeout. It was 113-93. And guess who didn't play? My guy, number 2, did not play in that game. And it was 113-93. So what does that tell you? Because when he did play in Game 3, and when he did play, especially in Game 4, it was domination by the visiting team at Oracle, where the Warriors have not played very well all year long. Again, for the last time, I'm going to say this because this is the last night at Oracle. This year, they lost 6 home games by 20-plus points, and 2 of those games were by 30-plus. Those are just bad signs. And I'm going to give number 2 this. In Game 3, he was very good, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, couple of steals, couple of blocks. But in Game 4, that was his most overpowering game of this finals because he went 36-12 with 4 steals and a block and 0 turnovers, and he made 5 of 9 three-point shots and 9 of 9 free throws. You can't do a whole lot better than that. So that was the last time I saw Toronto on this floor doing that to them. And obviously tonight, the truth is, I'm just being honest with you, number 2 should own this game. He will be the best player on the floor tonight because the best player on the planet obviously is in New York recovering from Achilles rupture reattachment. And it's obvious that Toronto has the better team with the much superior depth. So we start with all that, and then we add this onto it. I'm going to be honest with what I saw yesterday and heard from the rest of the Golden State players. I didn't love how they came out of the KD injury. It seemed to cast a weird pall over the team because it seems like even some of the players would have to be quietly questioning the integrity, the honesty of their coaching staff and their medical staff and their management. That's how it came across to me, to where instead of being inspired by KD's injury, like Klay tried to make the case for, it just seemed to me like they were a little deflated and, dare I say, disillusioned by how it all came about and why.
Well, yeah, Skip, I think the thing is that when you hear the medical staff says, well, if KD were to play, he can do no further damage. Okay, maybe he restrains the calf, but this was the extreme. Not only did the calf is the least of his problems. When you have a rupture of the Achilles as a basketball player, that changes the dynamic. And the quickest we've seen someone come back, and we've seen guys have this injury. Chauncey Billups had this injury. Dominique Wilkins had this injury. Rudy Gay had this injury. Basically, a conservative, you're looking at 9 months, Skip. That's being very, very, very.
All right.
But
now,
for the most part, guys take a year.
Okay, now back to Game 6 tonight. I picked the Warriors in 7. I'm sticking with them in 7, but I would like them in a Game 7 in Toronto more than I like them tonight. So tonight is the night. And I'm going to make the case, hanging with Golden State, that Toronto's going to have to lose the game tonight more than Golden State will win this game, because I don't think even Steven, level playing field, I don't think Golden State can beat that team head up. If they both play a good game to very good game, Toronto, you'll be right. Toronto will win. Number 2 will be crowned. He'll be the MVP.
Skip, if I'm hearing you correctly, you believe if they got to a Game 7, the pressure would be so great on Toronto that they would succumb to the pressure, and Golden State, having been in this environment before, would be able to win. So in other words, you feel more comfortable with the pressure of Game 7 being in their building being too much for them to overcome,
correct,
as opposed to them being in their own building in a Game 6.
Okay. This would boil down to, for me, Game 7 would become Klay versus feet of Klay, because I think Toronto would have feet of Klay in a Game 7. But in Game 6, it seems like Toronto is playing better away from the home pressure to do something that's never been done in the history of Raptors basketball, which is win an NBA championship. So tonight, my only hope is that the Warriors can hang on, and get to a fourth quarter in which the rim will start looking smaller and smaller and smaller to the visiting team. I think the visiting team will play well for 3 quarters. Then it'll come down to who makes the threes in the fourth quarter. And I still believe Golden State can make more threes in the fourth quarter.
Well, we do know this for certain. For whatever reason, and I don't know, I think he tries to replicate that when he goes home. Kyle Lowry plays.
He does. I told you that before that.
Exponentially better.
I told you before Game 3. You were all over him. I said, no, he'll play big in this game.
Skip, we've never seen anything like this, Skip. We've never seen a player of his caliber play so much better on the road than he does at home. And you mentioned getting to a Game 7, feet of Klay. You hoping they have hands of stone, that all of a sudden
I agree.
The rim is thimble size as opposed to ocean size, and they can throw it into that.
That is
but
true.
for me, let me ask you this, Skip. Do you believe that Boogie Cousins can have a Game 2 and 5 in Game 6 or a Game 7 if necessary? Because I've seen nothing that would indicate that he can put together back-to-back games.
I have not either. I don't completely trust him tonight, because you're right. Every time to use your term, expectations rise for DeMarcus, he crumbles because he's never been on this stage with this kind of pressure. And all of a sudden, after a good game, he's like, ooh, now I'm expected to have it. The other night, he was not expected. He was the third string center. He was only thrust into the action because KD went down, and then all of a sudden, obviously, Kevon Looney he couldn't stay. You know, he played for a while, then he couldn't go, and all of a sudden it's down to Bogut or bust, and it's kind of bust. So let's go with DeMarcus, and all of a sudden DeMarcus makes 6 out of 8 shots with nobody really expecting him to. So tonight,
Right.
he can be dominant in this game against Gasol. He can dominate him athletically, just on pure talent, size, strength. He's got all that. But he has to play with dominant poise on this stage, and I'm not sure that he can, which means we're back to this. Klay